Hi guys, and welcome to the Sunderland vs Portsmouth match review. And to say that I'm buzzing my little chebs off would be an understatement. I apologise, that's a very weird start to the video. But I'm absolutely buzzing. It was a Sunderland 2-1 win, and I was actually labelled the prediction god on Instagram as I did predict a correct scoreline. But anyway, let's get into the game. We did win by 2-1, and it's cracking that we've got our first 3 points of the season, which was the main thing. But to do it against a team like Portsmouth, who we know full well are going to be up there or thereabouts, that is such a confidence boost and such a such a mental boost for the lads. And but yeah, so that's all very positive. That's all well and good. But let's get into the performance. So we did start with a 4-4-2. We had John McLaughlin in goal. We had Conor McLaughlin at left back. We had Willis and Ozturk in the middle of that defence. We had O'Nien on the right. In the middle, we had Leadbitter and Power. On the right-hand side, we had Gooch. On the left, we had McGeady. Then up top, we had McNulty and Chris Maguire. So, starting off, for the opening 20 minutes, we were absolutely dreadful. In terms of, we couldn't string a pass together. We were constantly giving the ball away, just needlessly. And to be fair, Portsmouth, they hit us with quite a lot of intensity, and they're coming forward. And although they weren't creating, huge clear-cut chances, they were given far too much time on either side and either wing, to whip balls in, which, we dealt with the majority or all of it, really. With balls coming into the box, they had the odd header that had gone over the bar, but they weren't really testing the keeper. And eventually, it was just an absolutely comical goal. I say comical at the time. I was absolutely livid, but now when I look back, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Defending was absolutely shambolic. They come forward. It was a power pass that was intercepted, knocked in towards Marquis, and the ball. I mean, to be fair, Ozturk and Willis, the defenders, were basically trying to sandwich him almost, and we did manage to put him off his shot, but the shot almost ricocheted off one defender, then onto another, then back onto a Portsmouth player, then back towards Harness, who had a little bit of space, and he manages to drag it into the bottom corner past McLaughlin to make it 1-0. And I just thought that's just all luck for that, because the ball literally it was like pinball in the box, and eventually fell to a Portsmouth player. We went a goal down, and I thought that's just the tempo set for the game. But lo and behold, I think for the opening 20 odd minutes, we were terrible. Portsmouth definitely brought it better than us, but I think for the second half of the first half, we competed very, very well with them, and we started to push forward, and we did get reply very quickly. It was a Grant Leadbitter corner, it was whipped in, and Willis, who, people have gone mad at him, or sorry, not gone mad necessarily, but we've criticised him for his lack of aerial threats, or his lack of aerial power defensively, but he has leaped like a salmon, flung himself in between Portsmouth defenders and absolutely bulleted a header into that bottom corner to make it 1-1. Absolutely cracking header. I hadn't seen a header like that in ages. It was really a brilliant header. So it's 1-1, and then we start to play a bit of football. I feel like, almost probably throughout the game, really, aerial duels and 50-50s, or I say 50-50s, mainly aerial duels, we were losing them. I don't think we won one until that come on in the second half, but we weren't winning anything in the midfield because they just had the tenacity, they had the height and the physicality. Whereas with Power and Grant Leadbitter, we don't have that height or that stature in midfield that I do believe we need. And I felt like Dobson probably should have been in there from the start for me. Personally, I wanted to see Dobson start. I was quite sceptical when I saw both Grant and Power in the same team together, which, I've said before, I think they're very similar, but they did complement each other in a way. I felt like Grant did the sort of nitty gritty, and he did actually very well. I can't take that away from him throughout the game. And Power, eventually, after Grant kind of did get to grips with the game, that gave Power the licence to move forward and make those more positive passes rather than both being on the back foot and being defensive all the time. And it worked quite well. But going forward again, ball was hoofed up over the top. McNulty brought it down nicely. He tried to flick it inside to McGeady. The Portsmouth defenders tried to hook the ball away from McGeady before he could get onto the ball, but he's hooked it directly into the shins of McGeady, and it's ricocheted away and has laid him off brilliantly to run down that left-hand side, run at Burgess, get past Burgess. He's played it across goal, hard and low, and there's Maguire to tap it into an empty net. 2-1, delirium, absolutely loving it. And I think at that point, it was very 50-50 the game, so it could have gone either way. But the second half comes, and it was probably one of the most impressive performances I've seen sort of from a Jack Ross side in quite some time, and not because it was pretty, because it was far from it, but because it was a team full of grit and determination. We defended like absolute warriors. We battled for every ball. We were winning challenges. Everything that Portsmouth threw at us, we were winning. In terms of whipping balls into the box. And don't get me wrong, Portsmouth, their fans they'll more than likely admit that they weren't having the best of games in terms of, their final ball wasn't great in the final third. I think Curtis got down the wing several times, or there was a couple of set pieces that should have done a lot better, but they were just sailing straight over everyone and out for goal kicks or straight to McLaughlin. But we defended like absolute warriors in that second half. McNulty came off early on with a bit of a niggle. White come on, and I think he absolutely changed the game. He gives us such another dynamic, and he's got this confidence out of nowhere, White, and it's brilliant to see. These hoof balls that we were playing up top beforehand, they become useful, they become something, because don't get me wrong, Ozturk and Willis, if people can't complain that they're just hoofing the ball away, because, Flanagan, who we did used to have there, he would try these, these fancy passes that would always go wrong, and he was a massive liability. I'd rather have Willis and Ozturk there who just did the nitty gritty and just got the ball away. But when you're getting the ball away, when you have McNulty up top, he's not going to win headers, of course he's not, but he presses that back line and he can get in behind, and he's brilliant at chasing players down, and he's fantastic at that. But with White, he gives us another dimension. He's winning headers. He was absolutely bullying their centre-backs from the second he come on, although the referee was pissing me off, and I did make it clear on social media, because there were times where Burgess was just absolutely all over White. White wasn't even reacting. He was flying over the back of White 2 or 3 times, and every single time it was somehow given a Portsmouth free kick, which didn't make any sense. And to be fair, if we wanted to go vice versa, it happened a couple of times with Marquis as well. And like I said on social media, it's like, we don't have, and we're not allowed, good old-fashioned physical strikers anymore, because they can be manhandled as much as defenders want to, and referees won't give anything. But if they show any type of attempt to get out of their sort of choke slam, or the throttling them, then it's a free kick to their position, and it doesn't make any sense. And it really does. It restrains players like White to do what he does best, which is to be physical. And it was a massive shame, because a few times where I thought, right, White's won that header brilliantly, now we're going to move on. But no, the refs give a free kick because White won a header. Do you know what I mean? It was just bullshit. But White did change the game, and he was very, very good up top. He gave us another outlet, and it weren't as if we went into that second half and just simply sat back. We did go for it. There was a few very decent passive moves between like Gooch and Power interchanging. Power had a shot from outside the area which had gone wide. Gooch the same. And like on the topic of Gooch, I think in the first half, I think he was anonymous. We didn't see him at all. But in the second half, he really did improve, and I think that's what made the second half, because in games like this, if one player doesn't really step up to the plate, you will notice, and we definitely noticed in that first half, although we did eventually compete with Portsmouth. The first 20 minutes were terrible. The second half, Gooch was getting involved, and the whole 11 were pulling in the same direction with the same grit, the same determination, and it's shown massively. But Portsmouth, they did have chances of their own. They were whipping balls into the box. There was one chance where Ledbetter tried to get the ball away from a cross, and he's headed it. It looked like it was going to go in to the near post, but McLaughlin made a great save. Another chance that they managed to get the ball in the box, and I think it fell for Evans, and he hit it hard and low when Ozturk has stopped it before it had gone in, or it probably looked like it was going to get saved by the feet of McLaughlin anyway. But it was a great block. Again, he was an absolute warrior. But in terms of chances for Portsmouth, that was pretty much it. I mean, they had set pieces which they were putting into the box corners, and McLaughlin was demanding that 6-yard box like there's no tomorrow. He was absolutely world class for me yesterday. John McLaughlin, he was claiming everything in the air, no bad decisions. I think he started off a little bit edgy. I think there was a couple of kicks that were either going straight for throw-ins or going straight to Portsmouth players, but other than that, he was absolutely class. He really was absolute class. But on to Ozturk and Willis, they are my defensive pairing from now on, 100%. If they can pull out performances like that, it's brilliant. I think Willis had this calming mentality at the back. He could control the ball, but if he had to hoof it away, he had to hoof it away. I don't mind that. Do you know what I mean? But when the simple pass was on, he would give it. Whereas Ozturk, he was winning everything in the air, winning every duel, winning every 50-50, and just getting the ball away. And then they complement each other really, really well. Then for the final few moments of the game, we did bring Grigg on. And he's, again, I know he didn't have long, and I can't slate him for the tiny amount of time that he did have on the pitch, but you've got the likes of Wig. You've got Wig, what the hell am I talking about? You had the likes of Wyke. Jesus Christ, Wig, where did that come from? But Wyke, he was running his socks off. He was almost playing the role that McNulty was playing prior to him coming on. And he was closing players down, and Grigg come on and just walks around for 10 minutes. That's pretty much it. I think he closed down the keeper once, but that was pretty much it. I don't see what he offers. I really don't. I mean, especially in a physical game like this, it offers so little. Robson come on for a little bit. But yeah, so that was the game, and I'm very, very proud of the lads. I think in all, it wasn't a pretty performance, but it was one we can all be massively, massively proud of, because that battle, which is the way I'd sum up that game, it was a battle, and we won the battle, and we've shown such strength and determination to get in front there, and it really was class. Portsmouth, we allowed them quite a bit of possession towards the end, and they did throw the kitchen sink, but we did everything to deal with it. So the 3 points, like I say, it'll do wonders for the confidence of the lads. I mean, to struggle with first opening couple of games of the season, 1-1 draws, poor performances, to then get your first win, and with it being against a team that we're going to be up there, and Portsmouth will be up there because they're a very, very, very good side. I don't underestimate them at all. They're a very, very good side. So to get a 2-1 win, it's a massive confidence boost, and I'm buzzing. And my man of the match, which people keep asking me, it's a joint one for me. I mean, there's quite a few I could give. Ledbetter was excellent. He was an absolute leader in the middle. McLaughlin was class in goal, but for me, it's a joint one between Willis and Ozturk, because they were just absolute beasts. Absolute beasts. Maybe edge it to Willis because he got himself the goal, but Ozturk was just as good at the back. So if I see Flanagan anywhere near that back two again, I'm losing my shit, because those two were absolutely class. So anyway, that is it, guys. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button for me. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already, to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, you take care and stay jamming.